Okay, we're live. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 182. We don't have a topic or a title yet. I mean, we have a topic. We don't have a title yet. But I think we should just start out and saying we're just changing the podcast just to be. We're taking suggestions that would be is, but I will just say it is not blockchain or Bitcoin. Maybe it's burgers or breakfast. It's not bacon, but who knows?
Could be breakfast burgers, like a burger, cheddar cheese, a fried egg, some bacon on top, hash browns.
Breakfast burritos. We use alliteration. We'll just be BB.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So
the Better Breakfast Burrito Bureau, perhaps.
I mean, security with bees. I don't know. So
beekeeping, the whole net outfit.
But we are not the blockchain, nor are we Bitcoin.
Yes, that is true.
So, did you hear that they may have found Satoshi last week?
Oh, did they again?
They may have, and he's kind of a jerk, apparently.
Huh. All right.
But again, I don't know. They keep on saying that they think they found him, but yet no one's willing to prove it.
Yeah, and until we see something signed over with those creds, I'm not buying it.
I mean, Satoshi, if you give me a Bitcoin, I promise to give it back to you. I mean, right? You can give me a point. You give me one Satoshi, and I'll give it back to you.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
So it's been. I mean, we didn't record last week because there wasn't our big story was what happened to Paul Manafort. But before we get there, because it's not really a story, we figured, okay, we'll get to it. There wasn't really going on the last few weeks. I mean, there's just high technical things, but nothing that really affects you. And then you said that your wife found something that was interesting to talk about.
Yeah. So she doesn't usually go to coffee shops or goes to hang out somewhere, but she took her Chromebook. She went to a coffee shop. She wanted to get some logging done, and she sat down at Starbucks, and she was there for a couple hours and watched these multiple people, tons of people, not just like 1, 2, however many, lots and lots of people open up their laptops, get to something that could have been work-related, Facebook, whatever, sensitive material, and just walk away. There were 2 people at Starbucks that were logged into presumably work laptops that left them open, logged in, turned on inside at a table while they went outside and sat down outside to have their coffee and have a conversation, and just totally left their machines wide open. She said, look, I have no training. I have no hacking background. I have no security background other than being married to you. But I could have seriously walked away with a bunch of secrets, a bunch of personal information, or made their lives miserable by messing with stuff, whether it's work stuff, sending out weird emails, posting Facebook status messages, you name it. She could have done it while they were, outside facing away from their computers while they're open and unlocked on a table.
I initially thought when you told me this that they were just going to the bathroom.
No. Oh, no. These people took their coffees. They were sitting inside at a table, took their coffees, went to an outside table, and left their laptops inside. Now, I realize that's probably not the majority case. These people probably are one of the special edge cases, but that's pretty egregious.
I don't know if that's a special edge case. The only thing I could think of is there's only one way out. So if you're sitting at the patio and you're, I guess you said that they're not even looking at their computer. Somebody walking out, you may see them with a laptop, and I'm thinking, oh, no, you just throw it in the bag. Yeah.
She could have picked up a laptop, thrown it in a purse, and walked away with it. And we would have scored 2 new laptops.
I think we spoke about this years ago in the form of college settings. Like if you're at the student lounge, don't just get up and walk away. But you're saying it's like, I get the bathroom. I get it. Like you have to go to the bathroom, and I don't recommend it, but you're just going to go outside and talk to somebody. Maybe they're a regular. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to play devil's advocate. The cameras see it, because I'm sure Starbucks is full, or the coffee shop is full of cameras. Or maybe the
Yeah.
baristas know you, like you're a regular, and hey, I'll be vaping outside. But I don't
I
know.
I don't know. I am trying to find a logical reason why you would do that, and I couldn't come up with one. It's also why a lot of companies in schools will have like seemingly draconian policies around you can leave your computer unattended for about 6.5 seconds before the screensaver will turn on and lock your computer. And it seems that you're sitting there at your desk, you're talking to someone, you're not really paying attention, and you see it. You see the monitor just start to dim. You're like, oh no! You start grabbing at the mouse and the keyboard, but it's too late. Your computer has locked itself.
And it's not just the password. It's
Yeah.
the password. It's the two-factor. It's the thumbprint.
Yep. But hey, there's a reason why companies have these policies, and it's because people do stupid things. They really don't think about, the data they have access to and what somebody else could do with it.
And so, on a parallel idea, so my students sit at big wooden tables, four to a table, and they leave their phones out. Like they just put their phone on the desk. And while they're playing whatever stupid game they're playing, one of my other students just walked up and grabbed 20 phones out of 24 without anybody knowing their phone was missing.
Wow. That's a pretty good haul.
I mean, and we're not talking like flip phones here. We're talking a whole bunch of iPhone 10s, Samsung S9. Like we're talking some heavy hitting phones. And I'm thinking, like, first I'm thinking, am I going to get fired for allowing this? That's the first thing, because I didn't really notice. But then again, I don't leave my phone on my desk. I'm attached to my phone in some way. And then
Yeah.
two, like, how do you identify these? And three, that's a teenager's lifeblood, or in your case, the workers, like their lifeblood. Why are you just leaving it there?
I
Like,
could never figure it out. Like even in college, I was super paranoid about my stuff. Like even getting up to go to the bathroom at just at the library, I had a desk. Even getting up to go to the bathroom, I would pack everything, and that includes the power brick for my big 17-inch gaming laptop. Don't make my mistake. If you're going to college, don't get a giant laptop with 3 minutes of battery life. It's so not worth it. Anyway. I would take everything, pack literally everything up, go to the bathroom, come back, 2 minutes later, and unpack it, set it all up again. And yeah, yeah. It was annoying, sure, and I totally get that it's annoying. You feel like you shouldn't have to do it. Especially at college in a library, you feel okay. This is, I lived at this place. This was my home away from home. I should feel safe here, but leaving my computer unattended, it's a little bit too far for me.
look, I mean, I used to do that in the dorm, because you knew everybody, and there was some sort of protection against people coming in. So, I mean, whether it's the front door or the swipe, and yes, I guess it was the threat model or the risk factor. It's everyone in the dorm had a vested interest to not have things get stolen, things like that. But you're at the lounge or you're at Starbucks, you may know all those people, but it is a public place.
Yeah,
It's what's going on, and
things happen.
maybe it's just okay. It's not my laptop; it's the company's laptop. Like, who really cares? Like, I'll go out and answer this phone call, and I really don't want to give up my spot because my spot's important. I mean, I can see that. I guess I don't know. So
Yeah. And it wasn't like, yeah, I mean, there were tons of people. She kept commenting. I wish I would have saved the chat log from that day, because she kept commenting, oh my God, do people, like, I hear you talk about this. I didn't think people actually did this. I didn't think people actually walked away from open computers, and not like walk away for a minute to, put some more sugar in their coffee or whatever, but like full on leave them. And yeah, people do all the time. So our advice, what we want to get through to you is, look, if you're on a PC, Windows L. If you're on the Mac, just tap that power button, throw it to sleep. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's annoying to type in your password again, but it's such a simple thing, and it adds just a smidge of security. Now, that said, if they walk away with your computer, it's game over, right? They've got your data. Hard disk encryption keys are live in RAM. If the NSA is coming after you, Windows L is not going to save you. But to a passerby who wants to post an awful status message on your Facebook to your friends and family, Windows L will stop that person.
I mean, even if they steal the laptop, a passerby will just figure out a way to wipe the hard drive and start over. The hardware at that point is gone and you're stuck. But if they know who you are, like if it says like this laptop belongs to, there may be some not like actual ransom, not ransomware, but actual ransom. We have this. Please give us money to get it back, or something like that. But it still bothers me, and I don't know. Yes, the very basic you can do is, you know what? Just take the laptop with you. Like, that's what I don't understand. Just take the laptop with you. If you're going to put coffee or sugar in your coffee, like I said, lock the computer, because you're still watching. You're still knowing what's going on. But if you're going to get out of your site, just take it with you.
Yeah. And I mean, if you didn't have to go crazy like I did, right? I packed up, the power brick and everything. You don't have to get nuts with it, right? I don't know of anyone who's roaming around stealing laptop power supplies. It's not something people take. I'm sure there have been people in the past who have stolen laptop power supplies, maybe expensive ones like the new USB-C Mac chargers, but it's so easy just to grab the machine itself, the thing that's actually valuable, the thing that can get you in trouble if it goes away. Just take it, shut the lid, throw it in a bag. It's super simple.
Put in your backpack. Leave your backpack there. I mean, again,
modern operating systems today have got fantastic sleep mode. I remember back in my day when I would put a laptop to sleep, it took a full minute and a half to come back up, and we were happy with it. Yeah. But now it's instant off, it's instant on. It's like shutting your screen off on your phone. Like, it's so fast, and everything comes right back up. All your network connections, on super modern operating systems, sometimes they don't even shut off the radio. It's just like, yeah, we're going to stay in the background to keep updating, make sure we don't lose any connections, but we're going to shut the screen off and go to minimal power. That's really cool. So, embrace it. Love the sleep mode.
And again, most of the people at or get a laptop that looks so terrible that no one wants to steal it.
That's also a thing.
Throw some AMD stickers on your.
Put an AMD sticker on it. A Dell sticker. Maybe get some like painter's tape and scuff it up. Put some dirt on it. Like, make it look like it's actually holding the hinges on. Stuff like that.
I mean, look, we've talked about this. About you're in public. Just be careful what you're doing. I mean. You have $1,000 iPhone 10 in there, and you're just going to leave it while you go to the bathroom. No, you're going to take it with you. And I get that it's big and bulky and everything else, but you got to do it's. I think this is the bare minimum. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I want to go next about what you found out. PF something.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is really cool. Okay, first thing to talk about, and I'm going to type. Sorry, I know that was on. pi-hole.net, the Pi hole. What it basically is it's an internal DNS server you can run on your Raspberry Pi to DNS block any and all advertisements. It's kind of like a super ad blocker that runs at the network level. It's pretty rad. So if you have pfSense, if you are running a custom build like I am at home, you can do the same kind of thing with PF blocker and DNSBL lists. Basically, what all this technical stuff means is that you can set up a Raspberry Pi in your home network that when somebody goes out and they say, hey, ads.doubleclick.net, do you have the IP address for that? Because I need to get some advertisements to throw all over this web page. When your computer asks the internet for that IP address, the DNS resolver goes, oh yeah, they're over here. What the Pi hole will do is it's a man-in-the-middle DNS server, essentially. It will look at a list of common ad domains, like ads.doubleclick.net, and it'll go, oh, hold on a minute. I have this address. You don't need to search the internet for the real address. The address is right here. And it gives it a non existent, non running IP address that's in your home network. Your computer goes, huh, all right, it looks like that didn't load, so we can't load these advertisements. That domain just doesn't have a valid IP associated with it. Or it doesn't have an IP that's responding to our requests. So you can actually get a network level ad blocker going. Now, this isn't without bugs. It's not without breakages. You could see some weird things. I saw some weird apps behaving in strange ways when they couldn't load ads. But I will say that for certain things, like I got somehow a pop-up got through my phone's ad blocker, and it popped up the frame of where an ad was supposed to be, but no ad would load because the domain was DNS blacklisted. It's really fantastic. So check out the Pi-hole. It's really wonderful. It's really easy to set up. And if you have pfSense, check out PF Blocker. It does the same thing. And I've noticed it uses very little RAM. You can also use the Pi-hole and these lists to do things like malicious software blocking, where the lists are updated pretty frequently and common malware domains are blocked. Really, really nice stuff. It's a pretty great project.
So my only concern is, so I run uBlock Origin and HTTPS everywhere as a Chrome extension on Chrome. The problem is every once in a while I come across something where it breaks, and so you turn off the ad block, you refresh, and then sometimes it magically works. Or very famously, you go to Forbes or you go to one of these news sites and they say you have ad blocker, you have to turn it off. So the problem is that, well, I'll know how to do that. It'll require a lot of effort on my part, but the kids won't know how to do that, or my spouse won't know how to do that, or my enterprise won't know how to do that. And then I feel like at that point, there's so many sites on the internet that will throw advertising script to test something that we start having problems.
Yeah, which is very much the case. There are certain websites that will employ ad blocker blockers, and there are lists out there for ad blocker blockers, to which they deploy ad blocker blockers, and it gets even crazier from there. So yeah, you're exactly right. This can cause weird errors like that. Some websites will just fail to work unless you whitelist them in the Pi-hole or in PF Blocker. Luckily, these interfaces have a nice way of whitelisting domains, but you're right. You know, my wife isn't going to go through the effort of whitelisting a domain name. She doesn't know how to do that. It's not hard. It's just an extra set of steps, and it's not as easy as clicking the power button on uBlock Origin. So yeah, it's definitely going to be more technical. The way I've looked at it and the way I'm going to operate for now is, if a site is going to block me for using an ad blocker, that's their prerogative, and I probably don't need to go there anyway. There's probably other places I can get that content.
It's stupid when it's like the federal government site or something like that, but
yeah,
that also happens, and they don't just, like, you don't get a pop-up that says, by the way, you're running an ad blocker. Something doesn't work, like the scrolling doesn't work or whatever else, and then you have to, and it takes a while to figure out, and then you have to turn off. You have to turn this off. My school blocks certain sites through HTTPS, but not through HTTP. Like, they'll block every once in a while the Facebook CSS, and I don't know what's going on. Like, why is this being blocked? And it's just one of those, they block the Facebook CDN, so I can see Facebook, but I can't see a Facebook video.
Yeah.
And then WhatsApp saying they block WhatsApp. I still don't understand how they do it. But anyway, so they have all this, and this is on their end, so I really can't stop it. But on my end, you get these weird errors, and it's one of those, last thing you do is say, wait a second, did this not load, or what's going on? You turn off ad blocker, you refresh it, and magically it loads.
Yeah, I actually, so there's a tutorial, and we'll throw this in the show notes, where the tutorial I was following for, this is for pfSense specifically, but the whitelisting will apply to anything using this technique. This person actually put together a list of common whitelists. Like, hey, here's a whitelist for GitHub and GitHub user content, because sometimes they appear on lists. Here's github.map.fastly.net for raw GitHub user content. And it's nice because they've got comments next to the things they're whitelisting. So, here's one for youtube.com. Here's one for Twitter images, another one for Twitter images. So you can start off with a pretty good list, but it might require tweaking in the future. Unfortunately, it's not a purely fire and forget ad blocker. The good news is this will block ads network wide. It's not just in a browser. It will block ads on the browser on your phone. It will block ads from coming into advertisements. It will, or ads from coming into advertisements. Yeah, we've reached that point in life. It'll block ads from coming into apps. It will block. I actually had ads blocked on one of my streaming devices that shows ad in a little banner, and it blocked those too. It's not foolproof. I have seen certain ads get through, but the lists are updated often enough that they stay pretty neck and neck with each other. So if you've got the time, if you've got the technical know-how, if you're really looking for a project for that Raspberry Pi that's been sitting in your desk drawer for 3 months, yeah, I have. I'm that guy. Then the Pi-hole's probably a worthwhile, test.
I think the better idea is that Pi-hole with the Pi VPN. So
Now
if you don't
cool.
want it, so now while you're VPNing into your house, so you're remote, so faster bandwidth, data saver, and less tracking, that can be like a very happy medium. And now you kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. Actually, that's my majority use case is I VPN my phone back to my house when I'm out and about. And I will use public Wi-Fi wherever because I've got a VPN and it's just sitting there. The better part is I no longer get advertisements on my phone anywhere thanks to this VPN setup and PF blocker.
So, I mean, basically, so if you're VPNing, you get no advertisements without running. So if you're on Android, where you don't have a ad blocker extension, by VPNing, you would get rid of it.
Yep.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I will say this. If you didn't want to go through this effort, but you do want a browser on Android with ad blocking, download Firefox. Firefox works on Android. You can download it through the Google Play Store, and add-ons work. You can actually add uBlock Origin, the full thing, into Firefox super easily and block ads there. I actually made Firefox my default browser just for that feature.
So, look, I'm definitely going to check it out when school ends because I think that's a great idea, the Pi and the VPN and everything else. So, take it from there.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Manafort. And we're not meaning to get political. So don't mention us, don't add us that WhatsApp is insecure because the FBI got data. The FBI got nothing. The FBI asked somebody to get into a chat with Paul Manafort, to which he did. And then they proceeded to use WhatsApp feature of backup to the cloud and then just pull that. So WhatsApp encryption has not been broken. Again, not been broken, but the weakest link is that if you send it to iCloud, it gets sent unencrypted, and then you just subpoena Apple, and they have to give it to you.
Yeah, and this is really common. We've seen these types of mitigations by law enforcement several times in the past, where somebody is like super paranoid, they're super crazy about security. They've got 7 layers of encryption, they've got a 97 character hard drive decryption password, they completely disconnect themselves from the internet and go under a cloak of darkness in a shrouded cave of isolation to read their PGP encrypted email. Like, it's crazy how secure they are, but they back their whole machine up to an unencrypted Western Digital MyBook hard drive sitting on their desk, and that owns them each and every time. Security, unfortunately, it's got to be the full chain, right? You've got to have security every step of the way because the weakest link will always sink you. That is the one that will always get you. And if you are backing up encrypted data to an unencrypted device, you just exposed the data.
And they got all this, they got all the data. And again, if you're going to do, figure out what your threat model is and go from there. And look, we talk about it all the time in our WhatsApp group. We're not verifying that people don't have backup messages turned on. We assume that they don't, but I mean, we're not going to be, again, nothing in our WhatsApp group is highly sensitive information, but we're asking you, unlike Signal and Wire, which do not allow you to back up.
Yeah.
So
it's another case of default saving lives. So WhatsApp does give you the option. It gives you the ability to back these things up in various ways, some of which are very unsafe. And Signal doesn't give you that option. It doesn't even allow users the thought of accidentally hurting themselves or making the wrong decision. So if you're out there, if you're building a product, if you are picking a product for a person, choose the thing with safe defaults. Choose the thing that doesn't allow people to hurt themselves, because it does happen. Not to say that things that give user control are bad necessarily. It's that things that give users control are going to be inherently more dangerous than something that doesn't.
it's, again, we talked about convenience and everything else. It's you want to make it convenient for your mother or whatever to back up, and you don't want to have to explain the security. And we said the trade-off. So
yeah,
things like this happen, but again, it's on you. And there are ways to not upload your iCloud data. It's very hard. Apple absolutely wants you to, but there are ways. And if that's the case, then before you start doing it, and this is why we run the podcast, think about it now. Don't think about it after you've committed your not illegal act, but your sensitive act that you don't want people knowing about.
Right.
So
always good to think about.
So that's really the news for us. We didn't have, like I said, the last 2 weeks have been pretty quiet for what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's all these CVEs that we're not really discussing, but it's been fairly quiet. Again, if you have a router, again, the VPN filter has now infected more routers. If you haven't restarted it, restart it. If you can flash the same firmware, that will get rid of it. Just the same firmware will get rid of it. The problem is that if you have any settings, you have to either export those settings, and then the problem is the bug gets stuck there, so you have to memorize those settings. Most people can do that, but they don't want to, because flashing your firmware on a device can brick it, can make it unusable. So again, restart every once in a while until they update it is probably the best advice.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're short this week, but that's still good. So anyway, we will see everyone next week.
See you, everyone.
Bye.